We got a great guest for you guys today, David Chokachi. What's up? How are you? You look fabulous.
I know.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
I know you. I've seen you around.
He went to the Clown Motel premiere with you.
Yeah, I know that. I names I stink with. I'm so old. I can't even, like I said, I don't even remember where my tick is when I have to pee. But
I think he had a beard though. Then did you have a beard?
I did for a while, and then I shaved it. I think it was shaved by the time when I saw you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you look fabulous.
Yeah, and I remember. I think you were a nice guy. I thought.
So hold on, we're gonna do a real intro now that we know we can hear him.
We're very tired.
Yeah, we just got back from a big event in New York City, and so we got home at 4:00 this morning. So it's very fun. But anyway, you guys, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the actor who never ages. You know him from Baywatch and about 100 zillion other things. We want to welcome him to the show. So David Chokachi, hello and welcome.
Thank you so much, Jimmy and Ron. How you guys doing?
We are fabulous. Besides the fact being
not
tired.
Not too hot. You're not going to get a Ron Russell explosive, crazy interview today. You're going to get.
He says that now.
Well, maybe if I wake up.
Yes.
But last name, ethnic background. It's an
Chokachi?
Interesting name.
Yes.
Yeah, Greek, Chinese.
No. So believe it or not, my dad was born in the Middle East. My dad was born in Iraq, and the name was originally like Al Chokachi. And then when he came to this country, Al in Arabic means Mr. So when he came to the United States, you kind of drop the Al and spell it the way I do. But yeah, he was born in outside of Baghdad, and my mom has Scandinavian roots.
Fabulous.
So that's why
your mom's from Finland.
So you've got milk white and chocolate. You're like me.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's what makes it good looking. But, when I started in the business, they said my name was too ethnic and nobody could ever pronounce it, change it. So I became Russell. Did anybody ever advise you to change your last name to like Smith?
No. Hasselhoff tried, but I'm like, no, I'm not changing my name.
You see, back in 1959, we had no choice. Change your name or you don't work, because
Wow.
they didn't want Italians to be in film. They thought Italians were sort of like, like what the people of, how they treat the people today from other countries.
It's funny though. So we have a chat room, literally lots of places in there. Everybody's talking about how young you still look and how good looking you still are, which is very nice. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hey, what's up in the chat room? How you guys doing?
There'll be a lot of people coming in. And
you sound like you have a New York accent. How
you doing? I think from hearing you guys talk.
You know what? You had to hear when I got there. I cracked up laughing. I said, "Oh, I'm so happy to be back." Now nobody will say you have a New York accent. And the guy said to me, "You don't have a New York accent." I said, "What?" He said, "No." He said, "Maybe a little." I said, "Well, take me to Brooklyn quick." So it's amazing. Here I have a thick New York accent, and there I have a little accent. So really, are you from New York?
No, I'm from it's just a town south of Boston called Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Okay, so pack the car.
Pack the car. My mom, who's still alive, she has a wicked accent still. It's hilarious. But I kind of got rid of mine when I moved to California. I never had it that bad even though I went to college up in Maine. I kind of lost it pretty quickly, which was good, because back then they stereotype you as his accent's too strong. We can't use him.
I love that though.
Well, that's true, because they will pick you out. They don't realize that an actor can lose or develop any accent. That's what we do. We're called actors. But they'll say, "Oh no, well, that guy, he speaks like you in case." They'll say, "Oh, he speaks Bostonian. We can't use him." Well, how about he wants to speak Brooklynese? He'll do that too. He's an actor.
Yeah.
So I have a question, because like everybody in the chat room is talking about your Cody and Baywatch, and it's so funny because like I watched Baywatch, but I actually liked Witchblade and some of the other stuff like a whole lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't all that big of a Baywatch thing, even though I thought David Hasselhoff was cute. But
no, Baywatch wasn't really called Chick Watch.
But I liked it. I mean, it was such a cool show, and we've met a whole bunch of people from it. But so was Baywatch. Wait.
I met David years ago, and you know what he said? That he had animals in his house that I don't know if I should say this.
No, don't say it then.
No. That used to make wee wee all over the house.
Well, ours do that too. So was Baywatch one of your first really big thing?
It was. It definitely was. I moved to California in '94, about 2 days before the Northridge earthquake, and then.
Welcome to California.
Yeah. I got here on a Saturday, and hey, Bruce. I got here on a Saturday, and the earthquake kicked off on Sunday or Monday morning at like 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's
Like,
a terrible way to first get there. And then how did that turn? I said that's a terrible first thing to happen when you get there. And then how did you actually get Baywatch? Did you have to audition a bunch?
Yeah. I had before I even moved to California, I had a small agency. It was called Hero. It was a modeling agency. And they had a small theatrical department, and they were the ones who got the audition, and they were looking to replace one of the main young actors on the show. And I got the opportunity to go in and audition, and it was a long process. It was, I don't know how many auditions, screen tests, meetings, swim test. I had to go through all these levels, and in the end, I was the guy. But when I walked into the room, what happened was the casting directors, I hadn't said a word. I just walked in. They've been looking at the East Coast, the West Coast, probably, I don't know how many guys they saw, like over 1,000. I walk in and they're like talking, and they look up and they're like, holy shit, you're the guy. You're the guy we've been looking for. I hadn't said a word. And then I was like, what? And then it was kind of up to me and luckily I had worked on the material over and over, and I was able to deliver it, and, kind of every step of the way, stay, even though I was freaking out inside, stay calm on the outside so they didn't see what was happening. And yeah.
Did you really have to know how to swim then? You really had to swim.
Of course,
yeah,
Pacific.
They had cast someone years before I got there, and it was a female. I didn't know her name, but she turns out was like terrified of sharks, and she didn't tell this to them. Anyway, they end up casting her, and then she tells them, and so every time she had to do a rescue, she would run to the water ankle deep. They'd yell cut, put in the stunt person. Stunt person goes out, does the rescue, and then she comes back in.
Now you shot up at Zuma Beach, and I know Zuma well. They have sharks up at Zuma?
They're all up and down the coast. I mean, it's just we don't really see them. There's little babies everywhere, and occasionally they see a bigger one here and there. But I'm a big surfer. I surf out at Point Doom all the time, and I've never seen one. And I've asked all the guys who surf there, and only one guy who's been there surfing there for like 25 years said he saw one large great white at one point, but that was it. And the funny thing is there's all kinds of sea life right there close to shore. There's tons of seals, tons of dolphins. So it could be a place for them to be cruising. Yeah.
Well, Zuma Beach, folks, for those of you out there that are not familiar with it, is where they shot the Planet of the Apes. If you remember the Statue of Liberty when she was sticking out of the water and there was a big cliff, well, that's Zuma Beach, and that's where Baywatch was shot. Now, Pamela Anderson, my daughter handled her. My daughter was her business manager, and she said,
you're
Pamela.
kidding.
Yeah, she said Pamela was my daughter worked for Platinum whatever company, and
a long time ago.
I forgot what it's called, Platinum whatever. Yeah, she handled a lot of movie stars, and she said Pamela was a doll. In fact, Pamela was up at the office one day, and Leslie said, "Oh my God, let me see the ring, the famous engagement ring." And Pamela took it off. She said, "Here, honey, put it on, see what it feels like." And my daughter said she could never use it. It was uncomfortable. The damn thing was heavy and swung around. Anyway, did you work a lot with Pamela?
Yeah, Pamela was my girlfriend on the show for 2 years, so we worked together quite a bit. And they would always have these scenes where we're making out, or montages where we're chasing each other in the water and playing basketball, or all these things. So yeah, man, my character, I get to have a lot of fun. And Pamela was, she was amazing. Her and I were very self-deprecating. We loved to kind of screw around behind the scenes, and just not in a sexual way, but just kind of
Yeah,
we didn't take the whole thing so seriously, you know.
Right.
I think that allowed for our chemistry to be that much stronger on screen when the episodes aired.
It's called relax, and it's very visible on screen.
There
When
you
you're
go.
I can tell you right away. Well, because I'm in the business 1,000 years, but I could tell you right away in a movie if they get along off screen, and if
Yeah,
they get, you can tell. You know,
you can tell.
when you're in the business. I mean, I won't mention who, but there was two people that were on a show making out, and they hated each other, and boy, was it obvious. And it doesn't do good for the film.
No,
But the GP doesn't see it. They don't get it because they're not in it. But you could
right.
tell, and I could tell. We know who the
Yeah,
fighters
yeah.
are.
That's
My daughter
definitely
loved
fun.
Pamela. She said she was lovely, just a sweet girl.
Oh, she's a beautiful human being. Like,
Yeah,
you know, she went through some hard times and she got
Yes.
through them. And I think she has two grown kids, beautiful kids, and I think she's found happiness. You know,
Right.
which is great.
Did you ever see the Borat movie?
Of
Like
course.
where he's like going to see Pamela. I mean, I think that was like the funniest thing. Like I love
Oh.
those. It's ridiculously. It's so
Pamela.
insanely stupid, but it's so funny. But the fact that
Pamela, yeah,
yes,
he's
he's going to see her. Yes, I freaking like love it. So you've done so many things. We're gonna talk about some of your things that you've done just recently. But I just want to bring up a couple other things. You guys could have seen David in the Witchblade series with Yancey Butler, which I'm bringing her name up because she's also in the film we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask real quick about a couple other things that you did. How was it like being on Battle of the Network Stars, and how do you get picked for that? Because that seems like really cool, and that was a big thing back in the day.
Oh, that was so fun. I couldn't wait. That was just that was one of those beautiful incoming calls that you know, and it's like, hey, do you want to go run around and do all these cool athletic events and get paid a lot of money? And I was like, definitely. So yeah, I got to do that with Parker Stevenson was in it.
And he's in the movie that we're talking about in a minute too.
Yeah.
It's so funny though because they pick all the pretty muscular people, so everybody gets to see him running around without a shirt.
They didn't pick me. They missed me
because that was such a big deal, and I used to love it when they would do that, and they would have all the celebrities, battling against each other. I thought it was so much fun. And then another thing, which I didn't even realize it was you, and I watched it when it came out. Because now we live in Palm Springs, but the Christmas in Palm Springs movie with Patrick Muldoon and Dina Meyer and Ian Ziering and Aaron Gray, I didn't even know that was you in it. So now when it comes on this Christmas, I gotta watch it again.
That movie was such a lie. You have to live in Palm Springs. Thursday, tomorrow is going to be 111
in Palm Springs.
Yeah, it's freaking hot still.
At this time of year, which global warming is happening, folks. We never have this time of year 111. It's usually 90, cool down to 90, 100, 99 or 100.
So my last thing before we start talking about the new films is, so you haven't typecast yourself, which I find to be really cool because unfortunately a lot of people get typecast. You're doing family films, Christmas films, dog films, horror films, dramas. I mean, you've done something of everything. And was that a conscientious decision on your part, or was that just what was given to you and you picked the ones you liked, or how did that actually come about that you didn't get pigeonholed to only do one thing?
It's kind of a mixed bag of how it works. You know, a lot of times for some of these movies you get offered them, so they're just it's mainly like, do you like the story and do you like how much they want to pay you to be an actor in this movie, and then other ones, you know, like Witchblade was a big auditioning process where I had to do a network test and then do a studio test. You know, when they're bigger shows, it basically, you really have to go fight for those. I did another TV show called Beyond the Break that we shot in Hawaii, and that one I had to go in multiple times to fight for the role. And then, you know, it's kind of where you are, where you're at as a human being in the time. If you kind of can relate to the material, or sometimes, in all honesty, as actors, we're just, you know, we go crazy in between jobs and we just want to work. So maybe that's why I was doing the dog movie at the time. You're like, yeah, I'll go do a talking dog movie. Who cares? You know, also be on set.
And you have to keep yourself working, otherwise you get stale, as we say.
Yes.
You know, years ago, 50 years ago, I'm in the business 64 years. I'm 81. So I came into business 64 years ago. There were half the amount of actors there are today.
Probably
and
less
double
even.
the amount of roles to do. So
Really?
getting an, I mean, I played with Sophia Loren and Tab Hunter in a movie, Please, when I was 19, my first movie. Who gets a break like that? Nobody. Back in 1959, you could. Try it today. There'll be 3,000 guys stabbing you, shooting you,
At least.
beating the shit out of you so you couldn't get to the audition. So I find that today I get work now because I'm ancient. Every time they need an old bag,
Man,
they
you
say
don't look. You're 81.
81. Yeah.
You don't look like. You look way younger than that.
Well,
everybody tells him.
Thank you. If you want to have dinner and pick out China, I'm ready. But seriously, when they want an old bag, they hire me. I get more work. I got 6 movies lined up. I got 3 out right now. When in my career did that ever happen? So I'm telling you to look forward to this. Stay attractive. When you're 80, you'll still be working. Because we need diversity, and we are now, old bags are considered diverse people. So you're gonna have a long career, my friend, because you're a young fella.
He's already been doing it 25 years.
Yeah, but he's a young fellow. When he's my age, he's gonna have some hell of a career, and you will work at my age.
Thank you. I certainly hope so.
No, you will. If you are a good actor, and if you stay in the business with the same joie de vivre that you had when you were young. That excited,
right.
You can't ever get stale, as I said, or bored. If you're bored with your work, you're never going to work.
Yeah, no,
you gotta love it.
Yeah, so even if the part is shitty, it's okay. You're on the set. You got lines to remember. Every time you remember lines, you're exercising the brain.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of friends. Vincent Price. I mean, I'm going to name drop because I don't give a shit. Vincent Price couldn't remember lines to save his ass. And Vinny had a lot of trouble with, you know who Vincent Price is, of course. You do know Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And because Jane Russell was my best friend, and I said, Jane, we could get you in movies. Why don't you come back? She says, I can't remember lines. That's the problem. And I can't remember lines. But now we have earplugs that we put in, and they feed us a line if we drop it. Johnny Depp does it. Al Pacino does it. Robert De Niro does it. You name them, they does it. Okay, everybody's doing it.
I know.
Because they don't want to learn lines.
Actually, do you remember lines pretty easy, David, or you have a trouble with it?
The better the writing is, the easier it is. Like for Witchblade, for example, I would read a scene from Witchblade, in any of our episodes, because done by this awesome guy, Ralph Hemmicker, and I'd read it like 3 times and it would just instantly sink in. But if the material is not good, it's like it'll take me a couple days to get it down because it just doesn't flow and it doesn't seem right.
That's why you don't remember.
No,
because
I always say I am so happy you said that. I said my mind hasn't gone, the scripts have gone. Because years ago I could have 3, 4, 5, 7 pages and the grammar was correct and the same sentences had structure.
And they made sense.
And they made sense. And I understood what the writer was saying, and it was character development. Now they throw a script at me. And the guy's got demsies and does and yo. What the fuck are they talking about? And you're right. You are 110% right. If the script is right, it's a snap. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. First, we want to welcome in everybody in the chat room. Bruce Reisman, he was on our show a couple of months ago. He's in the chat room. He's actually the writer and director of the film that we're going to talk about now with David. The name of the film is called Last Call in the Doghouse. It was written and directed by Bruce Reisman. And when we had Bruce on, we couldn't play the trailer for it, but we're going to talk about it for a second. And we've worked it out that we think we can play the trailers and music and stuff now without getting shut down.
Jimmy is a genius. Jimmy figured it out, and he's screwing everybody because he does it now, and nobody can stop him.
We had a problem for 2 years. We couldn't play it YouTube because we're live. Wait, let me explain it.
We couldn't play music either. We had famous people on, the greatest singers in the world, and we couldn't play their music
because YouTube would shut it down.
They threw us off the bastards.
YouTube, because we're live on YouTube. Right now we're live on YouTube and at like 6 other platforms.
Over 5 million people are looking at you, so make sure you have no lettuce on your teeth with a smile.
So here, you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little synopsis that I took off of IMDb for Last Call in the Doghouse. Then we're gonna let David actually introduce the trailer, and we're going to play the trailer so everybody sees it. That way they get a little glimpse of what we're talking about before we start talking about it.
Sure.
All right, so Last Call in the Doghouse. It's written by and directed by Bruce Reisman. Is it Reisman or Reisman?
Reisman.
Reisman. Okay,
Reisman.
Sorry, Bruce. Bruce Reisman. Sorry about that, Bruce. I should have remembered that. The Doghouse is a legendary New York dive bar owned by an extraordinary family.
What kind of bar?
Dive bar.
Jive?
Yeah.
Enunciate, darling.
Dive
Enunciate.
bar. They got it. Owned by an extraordinary family. 3 people from different backgrounds enter at closing time on separate nights, carrying the world on their shoulders. But by the time each of them leaves after last call, their souls are saved while 2 of them realize how connected they are. We'll talk about the cast and everything after we have David introduce the trailer. And Roxy, you ready with the trailer? I hope, right?
It sounds like a good film.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's
Oh,
good.
it's fantastic.
All right.
When you are.
All right, David, rock and roll. Introduce it for us.
Last Call in the Doghouse is a phenomenal film about these characters who work in a bar, and they all happen to be, well, I play Dog, who happens to be God himself, and my son is Jess, who's Jesus, and then my other son is Mo, who's Moses. And these characters will come into our bar. It's almost like the bar is a beacon that draws them in, and the characters that come in have something they're struggling with, and it's not evident that they don't come running in and kind of blurt it out, but through a process of conversation, we start talking to them and we find out what their trauma, or for one example, or PTSD is, and through that we go back and forth in time, and we actually go back to their traumatic event, and we're physically in that scene, in their event, and we're helping them understand and kind of realize that that event was not their problem. And then when we come back to real time, it's as if something has changed within them. It's just a beautiful, it's a mystical, fantastic movie that has so much heart and soul. And it gives you the feeling of hope, which, you know, in today's world with the pandemic and everything we're all going through, delivering that message of hope that Bruce Reisman, you know, wrote and directed, it's really just profound.
We need fantasy. We don't have fantasy today. And we've got to leave the reality of what's going on. And this film, I think, will take you for 2 hours, 10 minutes, possibly, into another place. And it's great.
So say something like, here's the trailer for...
Here's the trailer for Last Call in the Doghouse.
All right.
Play it.
You really ignore me when I'm speaking directly to you?
Look, you get disability. What are you doing living on the streets?
I'm going to go to sleep and not wake up.
It's 2:30. Last call. Come in with me. I do their books.
This is the best bar in New York. Been around for decades. Original owners. Everyone's family.
All right, last call coming up.
Again?
There's the door.
Do I know you?
54 below. A couple years back.
I was doing a lot of shit back then.
You could have met God.
Bought this place for my sons. They named it after me.
I'm Mary. I gave birth to the bartender.
They're a match made in heaven.
Hi, baby.
Dog made us brothers, and it's still confusing.
Well, we can't all be the mighty Moses.
Nobody can live up to most of this stuff.
You always have to make my problems your problem.
Yes, I do. I'm your brother.
That's what makes us a great team, you know. For better or worse.
These are 2 of the bravest souls. I have ever met. Take care of her, okay? Take care of my girl.
How did it happen, Eli?
Suck it up and get a drink.
He left me.
That was a lie, and we all knew it.
It's a bad night to call me out.
I'm not akin to cruelty. A single act or lots of it.
When we do good deeds, we shouldn't sound trumpets for ourselves, like the hypocrites do in the streets.
The memory plays a few tricks sometimes. You understand?
Last call in the right bar can be very precious.
You just said a mouthful.
It's my trade, you know?
Yay! Clap, 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 clap. It looks fantastic.
Looks like we need something like this. I'm noticing that the names of all the characters are biblical.
Yes.
So it's going to be
good, huh?
it's going to be a film that may inspire people to change some of their ways. You think?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's, and I've learned also, as many people, like you can't internalize your feelings. We all need to express them or talk to another person, and that's kind of the message here. Like, come in and unburden yourself so you can be free.
Right. Well, we need a lot of that, kiddo. We need a lot of that today. Are you a Christian?
Well, I'm not really I grew up Protestant. I grew up in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and we would go to church, but I like to believe there's someone up there, or higher power, or whatever it may be. I kind of have to, since I am playing God in this. I got to believe.
Well, you have to believe in yourself.
Right.
No, I believe that good is God. God is good. That's what I believe. If you're a good person, you're God. Well, we all have God inside of us.
That's true.
We have evil inside of us too. Unfortunately, like some of those Afghanistanians that won't let our Americans out. But if you're good, you're godly.
Yes.
And I think this film might be sending some messages out to some nasty people who need to think it over. Maybe they're not doing the right thing.
So hang on. I want to interrupt. So first of all, you guys, this movie is streaming only on StonyPointEntertainment.com. And so if you want to watch this movie, and you do want to watch it because it's a phenomenal movie,
I want to watch it.
You have to go to
I don't watch everything.
StonyPoint-Entertainment.com. There's a couple movies up there that are really good. There's Behind the Curtain, Adam Jacobs, and As Long as I'm Famous, Real Secrets of the Golden Age, which we'll talk about also in a minute, that David also stars in.
What I got out of this film is I might, for once in a long time, I might be seeing a movie that has a story. Wouldn't that be nice for a change?
Instead of just blowing them up and killing.
A beginning, a middle, and an end. And I think I can. When can I see this, Jim?
It's also on Amazon, you guys.
Hang on. Wait.
Amazon.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to ask God the Star. When can I see your work?
It's on Amazon.
So you're repeating Jimmy now? What are you, stupid?
You guys, you can get it on Amazon Prime.
Really. Now, listen. We have a lot of people my age out there that say, what in the hell is he talking about Amazon? In a boat in the jungle? No. Tell us how to see your movie specifically and easily.
So you go to the streaming platform called Amazon Prime Video, and you can just type in the search bar, Last Call in the Doghouse, and it's right there.
And if you can't do that, get your grandson to do it, or your granddaughter,
exactly.
Or just get somebody that's young that knows how to do it. But I would suggest that all my older fans who are watching our show watch this. I think it might make us feel a little easier about being closer to the end.
So also then you guys, so listen, if you saw in there, so I think Adam Jacobs, was he Moses?
Yes.
So Adam Jacobs, you guys, he was on our show a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I got probably like 2 months ago. And he's a huge Broadway star.
Parker was on our show.
No,
too.
we've never had Parker on the show.
You sure? I thought we had.
But here's some of the people in it. Judy, how do you pronounce Judy's last name correctly? Do you know? Geeson. Okay, she's been in a ton of stuff, you guys. Yancey Butler, Julian Curtis, Parker Stevenson, Aaron Forrest, who's in a bunch of other movies with you. I noticed on IMDb. Amanda Grace, Adam Jacobs. So it's got a really great cast. It's got a really great story,
and I love that it's not a bounce camera. They're still shots, so I don't get nauseous watching. And the sound is good, and everybody's enunciating, so I don't have to listen to Marlon Brando.
Oh, even Dave Hughes is saying Judy's a great English actress.
These are points that are so important to older audiences. You know, the young filmmakers, they make it where they don't realize that half of us can't hear, and we need, where that you have to satisfy everybody. And I think this film is clear cut good.
Judy Geeson was in To Soar with Love with Sidney Poitier in 1967.
That's quite a movie.
Yeah, that's quite a movie. And so I want to know what it was like, because like I've actually talked to lots of different people who've worked with Bruce Reisman, since I messed up his name earlier. Tell us, how was it working with Bruce? Because I heard he's phenomenal to work with, and he's an actor's director.
He is. I've known him for many, many years. We've worked together on a few different films. We did As Long as I'm Famous. He has the sequel to Last Call in the Doghouse that's actually in pre-production right now as we speak. And he's a huge theater buff, musical buff. He grew up in that time frame. He loves rehearsal.
Wait, back it up. What was the word you just said? I heard that word. Oh, what is that exactly?
Something we don't do anymore.
No, and I hate it. I hate it.
Anyway, he's just a beautiful human being and a very gifted writer, director. And like you said, he really makes you on set feel comfortable. You can do your own thing, but in rehearsals, we play with all kinds of ranges. And then by the time we put the cameras up, even though I was opposed to the rehearsal in the beginning, I loved it. By the time after the first day, I was like, let's do this more. I was way into it.
You were opposed to a rehearsal?
Well, it was a lot of times.
I beg.
Put the camera up and see what happens.
No. I beg for a rehearsal because the chemistry doesn't work unless you warm it up a little bit.
Right, true.
Oh, no.
No rehearsal time, that's just the way it is.
No, you can rehearse fast.
I have a question about that then, because I know you do a lot of cool indie films. Back when you were doing network stuff, did they rehearse? Like, did you rehearse on Baywatch and all those shows, or no?
No, you get on set, you run it a few times, you block it, you shoot it.
Okay.
So years ago,
some you would do table readings on, like Witchblade would do table readings.
I did table readings and I did rehearsals, and then we did one rehearsal before the shoot. And these were very big movie stars I worked with. They weren't kids; they were pros. Like the Betty Davis people. You know what I mean? They knew their shit, but they insisted on a rehearsal. They wanted to see what the other jerk is going to do and how they're going to do it. No.
He does films and he's like, where are my marks and stuff? And there are no marks. Where do I go? Oh, just walk over there someplace. The camera will follow you.
I asked one time, where's my key light? They said, what's that? I said, okay, who's shooting this film?
Right.
But anyway, I wanted to say something. I saw two guys, Jimmy and I are both married. We're celebrating our 10th year wedding anniversary in October. And I'm happy to see that your film shows two men getting married, Jewish men getting married, breaking the glass. And that makes me very happy. So.
Oh, Bruce actually wrote. Cool. Bruce wrote, David's not used to rehearsal because the business has changed so much. We rehearsed yesterday for the sequel and it was great.
No, but you know what? I rehearsed with Angie Stevens. Oh my God, Angie Stevenson, one of the sexiest, most gorgeous women in the world. We went off to a dark corner and people were starting to whisper. And I said, cut it out, you filthy-minded people. We're rehearsing. Angie and I ran our lines together. And then I said to her, listen, why don't we do this? She said, yeah, Ron, let's do that. And when we shot it was wonderful. It was better than anybody else's work because we had ironed it out. on our own. Do you do that? Do you pull people over like Pamela? Did you get her in the dark corner and say, "Let's rehearse"?
Oh, of course. I mean, that part goes without saying. Especially if you have any time before they're ready to block. I was always one to say, let's run this. Let's run it as many times as we can before, because we don't get the allotted time we need. So you gotta make the most of your time on set.
Well, I find when I have to deliver a line that's really tough, because I do a lot of tough lines, they write them for me. And with women, it can almost come off like I'm a macho guy beating up a woman. And I don't like that. So I tell the woman, when I deliver this line to you, maybe you should do this facial expression like you're a moron. Oh, okay, stupid. You know what I mean? Not frightened. And a lot of this one person, and she was a pretty famous actress, she agreed with me. She said, "No, Ron," she said, "you're very frightening on camera." She said, "When you get into that tough guy, gangster role, you really are frightening." And she was frightened. So I said, "Well, don't react frightened. React like, forget about it, stupid. You're nobody."
So you guys, this is Last Call in the Doghouse. It's available on Amazon Prime. It's also available on stonypoint-entertainment.com, which David also has another film that he did before he did this movie. It's called As Long as I'm Famous, Real Secrets of the Golden Age. It's also a Bruce Reisman movie.
Wait, I want to hear him talk about that. That interests me.
Hang on.
No, it's talking about the Golden Age.
I know. I'm going to let him so tell us a little bit about it.
Let him talk.
Let him.
You tell me about it. Don't listen to him.
Well, no, he was doing a good job. As long as I'm famous. No. As long as I'm famous is exactly what Jimmy said. It's a time period in the golden era, the golden age of Broadway, and Bruce again had these relationships back in the day with Joshua Logan, and in the movie it's Montgomery Clift, and I played Gene Tunney, who is the real heavyweight boxer in 1929, and the movie takes place in 1940. And it's all about, it takes place at this Connecticut home where they would all retreat to, all these actors and writers, and then all this kind of cheating on their partners or hooking up with, even though like the relationships of the two guys in the movie, Montgomery Clift and oh my God, I'm blanking.
Bruce, who's the other one?
Rock Hudson, probably.
Takes place in 1948 New York.
Oh, 40 Rock.
Anyway, it was taboo to have to be in an openly gay relationship back then. Yeah. So we explored that kind of a storyline. And we explored my character who had mental problems. And it was like beautifully shot. But we shot in this Bruce's agent's gorgeous house up in Bel Air. And the house itself is just... it's just right out of that time era.
Okay. This I want to see immediately. When can I see this film? This is up my alley. When can I see this film?
Where is this one?
Amazon Prime also. Amazon Prime Video.
Right now we could get it like tonight?
Yes, you can.
Okay, we're watching.
Actually, you'll like this because you know who's in it. So Michael Pare is in it.
Oh, I know Michael. I know Michael Michael. I know
Michael
100
Pare
years ago.
Tracy Nelson, who's in tons of stuff in like the 80s.
Also Montgomery Clift and everybody else you're going to name it. People.
Eric Lutz plays Richard Rogers. Aaron Forrest, who's also in Last Call of the Doghouse, in the Doghouse, plays Sid.
Sidney Lumet. That's who. He's Sidney Lumet.
Yes, Sidney Lumet.
That's who directed me, and that kind of woman. Could you believe it? My first movie. I was directed by Sidney. I mean, how do you not do that today? You can't.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a 19 years old boy, soldier. I was a soldier. Sidney Lumet, Sophia, and Tab. And I remained friends with Tab all those years until he passed.
So Bruce says it's like a George Cukor movie.
Oh, I cannot wait. Tonight
Bruce says David is so good and famous that people don't recognize him.
Now, who do you portray again, David?
Bruce, I love you.
Oh, you portrayed Gene Tunney, the pilot.
I played Gene Tunney, yeah, and it was challenging. I had to. There's this scene where he's actually in Bellevue Mental Hospital, and he has a breakdown. And because his parents in real life were immigrants from Ireland, his dad, they both had heavy Irish accents. And even though Gene Tunney didn't really, but when he has this mental breakdown, he kind of goes back into this Irish brogue, and
Yeah, but
it's a beautiful scene with Eric Lutz and myself.
let me tell you the truth about that. He didn't have a nervous breakdown. He had his brains knocked out. He was so his brains were so badly damaged that they didn't function like a human anymore. He was going in and out of periods of time and stuff. I remember my mother was an actress, so I remember my mother telling me stories about that. Yeah. He was beaten very badly in the head.
So you guys, both of the films you guys are on Amazon Prime. So one of them is called As Long as I'm Famous. Real Secrets of the Golden Age is like the tagline after it, but the movie is As Long as I'm Famous. And the first one that we discussed is called Last Call in the Doghouse. Both of them star David Chokachi, and both of them are written by Bruce Reisman and directed by Bruce Reisman.
And you got 2 good films going for yourself, kiddo. You're lucky.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Ron.
No, really.
He's got a lot.
If I didn't like it, I would just keep my mouth shut.
And to go back to, I was...
no, seriously, I don't bullshit anybody. I hate that crap, that Hollywood stuff. Oh, you're fabulous. You're wonderful. I love you. And then they turn around and say, boy, is he a dog. No. These are 2 films I'm definitely I want to watch the Hollywood one tonight with dinner, if we can stay awake.
So you guys, Last Call, the tagline for Last Call in the Doghouse is Field of Dreams meets Cheers.
Well, wait a minute. In the Hollywood one, I hope they didn't write things that aren't true, because I know everything about that era. You know, I'm a connoisseur of.
Bruce is very, he's very
articulate,
focused about that.
Because the thing with Rock Hudson with the Black Lover coming out was all bullshit. That movie was disgusting. That movie was so bad.
Did you see Hollywood?
I wanted to burn every print of
that
Hollywood.
Like mini series that they did about Hollywood.
It was such a lie.
He didn't like it. It's on Netflix.
It was such. I knew Rock Hudson. I was on his show. I knew him as Roy as my not buddy, but a friend. And he was so in love with somebody else who was not black. And Rock never went to the Academy Awards hand in hand with a black man saying I'm gay. I mean, Rock would have killed. When we shot McMillan and Wife, there was a line that Rock didn't like, and he told Script Girl, could we change that? It's a bit feminine. Okay, that's how he protected his gayness. He never would make a gay move or a gay gesture. If he did, he said, tell me, I want to reshoot it. And he's going to walk in the Academy Awards with a black lover and say, I'm gay? Get the fuck out of here.
Did you see what Bruce just said about everything and every incident
in As Long as I'm Famous is real, told to him personally.
Good, Bruce, because I'm watching and I know hey, that's my time.
You talked with Bruce about that when he was on the show. He was on our show, Bruce.
When was Bruce on our show?
With Jacobs.
Oh, I remember
with him. Adam Jacobs. We had a little bit of trouble with the Wi-Fi, but yes, you loved it.
I loved him. What are you talking about? He's my pal. No, he's all about my era. That's 40s and 50s is my era. Are you kidding?
So
okay. Now I'm gonna really love the film.
You're gonna love it. So I have a couple of everybody, Amazon Prime, Last Call in the Doghouse, and As Long as I'm Famous. I want to do a bucket list question. This is something I like to ask all the famous actors.
And you're a good actor, so you're gonna make the film quality.
Thank you.
No,
I appreciate that.
Did you have to learn to box moves, jumps, and stuff?
Well, we did. We rehearsed actually in my house for days. We rehearsed in the pouring rain. And Aaron Forrest, he directed all the boxing, and it was Gavin Adams, Aaron, and myself over and over. And then we took it to the stage where we had rehearsals. So to get that boxing down, it took a lot, but it looks amazing. And Bruce had it switch between color and black and white, and it's got
I love that. I love that
dynamic effect.
Now, how tall are you?
Me, 5'10".
Okay, so you're perfect height, because Johnny was about that height. Yeah,
it's perfect.
And you're a lightweight body.
Yeah, that was the only thing I couldn't do. Bruce was like, you got to gain like 30 pounds, and I was like, what, man, I can't. If I gain 30 pounds,
hang out with me for a week. I'll get you 30 pounds.
Okay.
Just eat some Italian food. All right.
I look at food and gain 30 pounds.
So bucket list questions. Now you've done all these fabulous things. So bucket list, a male and a female actor that you have.
I want to ask you one question. Are you married?
Yes.
I am married, and I have a beautiful 9-year-old daughter.
Good for you. Take care of that child. She's valuable.
Right.
She is your future, my friend.
That's right.
I have 2 daughters, wonderful daughters. They're old women now, but they are my beautiful. Well, they're coming. They heard that, but they are one of the reasons I live.
No, I know that feeling.
Okay, so you're a good dad. Good
Absolutely.
For you,
Right.
Daddy.
So-
good for you, Daddy.
So bucket list, male and female actor that you have not had a chance to work with yet that you would like to work with. They could be living or dead, even, like, just to
Oh,
make it
man.
fun. And if you could have been in any movie in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Ask them one at a time, otherwise they
No,
get
that way he gets to
confused.
think about the second one while he's answering the first one, because
Well,
it's
I'll
a
answer
hard
the
question.
second one first. I would say, I don't know, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, the great movie.
I would love.
Nobody's ever said that, too.
No, that's an interesting choice. Why?
First of all, I'm fascinated with history and war and how people have the courage to overcome something as fearful as D-Day, as getting off a boat on that day and storming Normandy. So just the way the movie was shot, it was just so realistic. And that one or Band of Brothers, they're kind of one of my.
Oh, good, great one. I love Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
okay, and give us an actor and an actress you'd like to work with, because we got to let him go. He's got another thing to do.
Wow.
Maybe pick living. It'll be easier.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I've always loved Brad Pitt's work, so I'll pick him because he's a beautiful human being. And
not according to Angie. and I know Angie really well. Angie grew up in my house. She lived around the corner on Roxbury. We lived on Spalding. My daughter Deirdre is girlfriends with her. They went to school together.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I gave her peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a kid in my house.
Well, let him get a female.
Go.
Female, jeez. That one's tough. I always identify with the male actors because those are the roles I know I can be in.
How about a good dramatic role with Sophia Loren, who's making a big comeback?
There we go, Sophia Loren.
There we go. All right, everybody. So
she's going to get the Academy Award, She's the winner.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, for her film. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, she's brilliant.
It's on Netflix.
The most brilliant actress of our day. She's not attractive anymore. She's very old and homely and couldn't care less. No makeup, no camera angles that make her look pretty. And her performance was absolutely scary, mind-boggling. Please watch it. My God.
Okay.
So hang on, two things, and this is for Bruce, because I've got Barry telling me we got to get you going. But Bruce said, ask him how Britt fed the actors off camera without being asked to. She knew. And then I'm trying to get David to do a play. Help me out, guys.
Yeah, so Britt's my daughter, and she was in Last Call in the Doghouse, and she plays Adam Jacobs' daughter when we do a flashback to Poland in 1940, and they stop the train and they tell Adam, who's a Polish Jew, and his daughter to get off the train, and they're like, "What do you mean get off?" And they'd say, "Run." And they're going to target practice on Adam and my daughter. Anyway, it's a great scene because we come in and I end up grabbing my daughter and yanking her out of there. We're playing these rebels who are trying to fight against the Nazis, and so that was a really cool moment. And what was the other one?
He wants you to star in a play.
I'm ready, Bruce. I think I'm actually finally ready.
Okay, there you heard it. And 5 million witnesses, Bruce.
Bring it.
All right, so you guys can follow David Chokachi on Instagram. He's the real David Chokachi. Chokachi is Chokachi. On Twitter, he's the real Chokachi. And we want to thank you for coming on the show. We so appreciate it. And good luck with everything. If you've got anything you ever want to promote, let us know. And everybody, go to Amazon Prime and check out Last Call in the Doghouse and As Long as I'm Famous.
And Dave, thank you for a nice interview.
Oh, Jimmy, Ron,
you're a nice guy.
You guys are amazing. It's so easy, and you make it super fun.
Thank you so much. And Barry Rogers, thank you for setting this whole thing up. And we'll see you soon, David. All right, have a good one.
See you tonight.
Thanks, Bruce.
See you tonight in your movie. You better be good.
There we go. Please watch
or else I'm going to call you and tell you stink.
Don't do that.
Bye, David. Thank you. No, he won't. He knows it's going to be good. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Davey.
All right, everybody.
Nice fella.
What a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's got a great publicist.
Nice guy. Look what I look like.
And Bruce is fabulous, so you got to love the whole thing.
You know,